G'day, citizens. Welcome to Inforunners. I'm Execute, joined today by the Astropub, or the hobo in training, as I like to call it. No,
Magnus represent, baby.
All right, so this is going to be our first impressions or our thoughts on the Ironclad. So let's kick it off to the browser. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to think where I want to start this, as I did before. I think we'll start with
you want me to start off with my statement, because I still want to say that statement.
Go ahead.
So just as a kind of a clarification, just so everyone understands before we even get started, this is not a specialized Drake vehicle. This is so it's not going to be very good at one thing, and there will be other ships that do better than it. It is not going to be the best cargo hauler. It's not going to be the best vehicle transporter. It's not going to be the best construction or repair vehicle. It is going to be outclassed by a lot of different vehicles, a lot of different ships in here. But the one advantage it has is that it's just like the Cutlass, like the Corsair, like the Kraken. It is just not good at one thing. It's okay at a lot of stuff. Because none of those ships are going to have all of those different things. Like, you're not going to have a vehicle transporter that also has a repair bay. Those don't exist. So
it's a generalist, like the Connie. Anything that's listed as generalist. Yeah, and that's Drake across the board.
That's just Drake. Yeah.
We'll start out with the Ironclad, right? So the Ironclad for me is, as John Crew said on the IC, from a law person's perspective, is a cargo ship, right? For its size, it's not the best cargo ship, but then when you lean into the piracy stuff, it becomes like a dump bucket where or a smash and grab vehicle, or you're basically essentially just getting the goods and getting the hell out of Dodge, right? And that is spoken to by the fact that the roof opens. You've got all those tractor beams that can help you pull stuff into it. You could literally just swallow a ship and go and salvage it later or pull it apart later. Again, I think the repair bay... Oh, no, the repair is in the other one. So that would... That would have been the thing in that. But you get my whole point, right? It allows you to dump and go. And I think of the game... What is it? Hardship Shipbreaker?
Hard Space Shipbreaker, which is made by the same people who made Homeworld. So...
Yeah, and in that there's like this big laser thing that you can dump all your components and stuff on, and it's just this big square area. And I visualize that a lot when I say this, where it just comes up underneath a ship and you're dumping all your cargo into it, or you're dumping your components or whatever, and it's just a dump bucket, and get the hell out of there, like a smash and grab. Here in Australia, they had a series of robberies that was going Australia-wide, and people were copying other people doing it, where they'll just take a 4x4 vehicle, they'll go straight through the glass doors into because you often have an ATM at the start of a shopping mall, and then they'd put a chain or rope or something around the ATM, and then they'd just rip it out of the floor, and then they would chuck that into the back of the ute and then just drive off. Now all ATMs come with
armored black boxes and GPS.
This is before that. And even then they were finding ways to disable the GPS on the go, so that, like, it was just someone in the back of the ute smacking the shit out of it, trying to get the GPS to shut down and stuff like that. And it was very successful for a time period. But anyway, I'm getting off topic here.
We have them in the US too. We've had those kind of things, same ideas. But it's very smash and grab. But I also say that the tractor beams also make this thing, for legitimate purposes, makes it probably going to be one of the fastest loading and offloading vehicles in space or on ground, because you can just quickly throw 32 SU cargoes around. But it also makes good for you, because if someone is just got a tractor gun and just kind of rips something off the side of a whole sea and just throws it downwards, you have somebody in tractor beams that can just grab it and start to load it carefully.
It's probably the good middle ground, say, between the Hercules series and the Hull series, right? Because the Hull series is going to be the fastest to load because it's all external. This is going to be the next fastest, but the C2 doesn't even have tractor beams. So you get where I'm kind of going there. But this is the great middle ground in my book. But obviously,
and it can carry vehicles, which roll on, roll off vehicles, so which you can't do with the whole series. So it's like I said, it's kind of in the middle. It's a good generalists. So
because of the brig or the safe room area, you cannot do larger vehicles on this one, though. It's kind of been designed that way, so it kind of comes down and the door's not big enough. But you should still technically be able to get Ursas on there. You just can't do... Well, they said small vehicles, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see
Say like
specifically.
an Ursa.
I'd assume an Ursa. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like the Cyclone and like the all like the mules and the SRVs and that kind of stuff, and SRVs. But yeah.
So if we move on to the Ironclad now, I think we'll start off with what you were telling me, Paul, because I think it's really kind of telling here, and it's
click the exterior so we can show this. So if you look, let's start up here. If you look at the Ironclad, you have all of the basics: the turrets, the front ramp. It talks about the tractor beams, which you already know about. 3 size 2s, which are good. The cargo and the cargo roof, where it says specifically retractable armored roof.
Yep.
But then it also has the command module and it has the thrusters.
Yep.
And so this is the sort of spec sheet for it.
These are the 2 we want you to pay attention to. These 2.
Yes.
The cargo and the tractor.
But also note that it says the thrusters and the command module.
Yep.
Those are listed there. So now you go down here and you see both the tractor beams and the roof are gone, and the turrets have changed in terms of like how many they have. They also say the front. They also say the front armored one ramp.
Yep.
But they also still have the command module and the thrusters. So it's not like with the first one, they're just they said some stuff and then they're just assuming you already know the first one because you already looked at it. These are both separate spec sheets for each vehicle. So, and if you look at the actual brochure, they mention the tractor beams in the Ironclad. They do not mention the tractor beams in the Assault. So if there is no tractor beams in the Assault and you don't see it on the spec sheet, then I believe there is no armored roof opening for the Assault.
And I think it's really clear here because it says top opening hangar cargo bay, and then you go down here and it just says cargo bay. So what Paul's essentially saying, in case you missed it, is the roof don't open on the Assault.
Nope. And as X said, they'll probably come up with some reason for it by like it's extra thick armor or something like that. It's some higher HP value, which will be harder to penetrate and stuff like that to give it an excuse. But it means that you're not landing your ships in this thing.
They don't want you using those repair facilities on ships. That's essentially what it is. This is a pure vehicle-based thing. The other thing that is astronomically huge too is you've all of a sudden lost the dump bucket. This is no longer so if it had the dump bucket ability, like so you could still use tractor beams and stuff like that. So they are very different ships. They are not exactly the same anymore. They are hugely different, and it's all because that door don't open. And again, I'm hearing Lemming in my voice, in my head, who's one of our Inforunner people. If you can get this question upvoted, that is the number one thing we need to know. Does this still open? Because I'm pretty sure, just looking at this, it don't. And if that'll change, because a lot of people are going to buy that thinking that it opens, and it doesn't, and they're going to be really disappointed when it doesn't, because I think they're buying. More expensive. Yeah, because it's more expensive. But it doesn't mean it's not validated to be more expensive. Obviously, it's more armored. It's got better guns and blah blah blah. But they're going in thinking that they can possibly use this. Well, Agrid was saying it yesterday. He's gone, oh yeah, you could totally take a ship into this, and we now know from that. I think he's wrong, and I kind of said to him, I said, I don't think they're going to allow you to repair ships. Now, you could technically drag the ship in via the front, or maybe get a Pisces in there, because it is like a C2 hangar now, because you lose the brig here, and that's why it's able to fit the bigger
it's replaced with jump seats. Which is, I think, better. You're not going to use the brig as much as you're going to use those jump seats. But,
and it's not a small number of jump seats, too, because that's the other thing. This ship actually surprisingly treads on a lot of ships. And it's essentially, this is the other part, is it's like a bigger Valkyrie. It is, you're not doing 4 Cyclones, you're doing 4 large vehicles. And 34 jump seats, right? That all of a sudden give like I know you were talking about the Novas, right? But I really think the Spartans are where it's at, because 6 heavy trips per one plus the pilot. This was finally a ship that can carry those Spartans. Like because I was thinking the longest time, how the hell is this going to work in a C2? Because it didn't work in the M2.
Yeah, this absolutely dumps all over the Liberator in terms of an assault vehicle. Like, this is an assault landing craft. That is what it's designed to do. Is designed to show up, drop 4 tanks in your face, or drop like a platoon plus into you in armored vehicles with armored support at your face. You cannot shoot them unless you have heavy weapons. And if your infantry, if your units take any kind of damage, you just walk them back to you tractor beam them back to your repair facility, and bingo bango, you're done. You got yourself fixed up and ready to go. So
and it speaks to that with a fortified ramp and all the guns being like the major guns being right at the front. You put that all to the front, and it takes the brunt of the attack, so you can get all the tanks out. And then the ability to bring them back in and repair, like, so if you can pick them up quickly enough and you're back out of there, you can repair them as you head off to your next confrontation.
Yes. But, well, and I think that this is also a secret. It's a secret base ship. Yeah. Because the fabrication, it's also mentioned, if you look at or we have it up right now, where it says the component fabrication. Yep. So it's not just a repair facility. They call it a service area, but it's in the utility mounts where it says component fabrication, as well as a rearm and refuel garage.
Where's this? Sorry, just so I can bring it up on screen. Oh, here we go. Your component fabrication. Right, I got it. Yep. Rearm. Yep. Yeah. I was. Go ahead. You go ahead. Sorry.
So like the point being, it's designed to because any kind of fabrication you can build. So even though it may not have, say, the Pioneer level, you could still build a lot of stuff. And with things like the MCV coming out, which we already know is going to be coming out, which is on the Atlas chassis, you can drag an MCV with you, build what you need for a small base, and anything you don't need, this like probably medium-sized fabrication can build you whatever you need and pull it right out.
It would definitely assist the MCV at the very least. And I think, as I said, like with all the guns on this, plus like maybe you chuck a Nurser in it, like that. Yeah, you were 100% right. It is like a mini Pioneer in a way. And again, because of that generalist mentality, it only adds to that. And you've still got cargo room left over too to take. Yeah. Again, with an MCV, you're only building those. What is it? The medium size. Yeah, because it's small, medium, large,
and small, capital. Like extra
so you'd be building mediums with an MCV. So what are you talking about? That's like larger outposts, I guess you'd call it. Not a big building or a city or whatever. But that's still
like 1 story or something like that, But yeah. So and you still have extra stuff for component building. So if you need it, because that repair facility is probably going to be a larger an upgun version of the MCV. But
Well, we also said MCV, but realistically, you could. And I'm just trying to think of versions here, but like, can't you take one, like three? No, I'm going to say 3 MCVs and one Atlas chassis to move them all. So could you technically fit 3 in here and have them working, or at the very least, if they have to have the chassis, then 2 of them, because they are longer, but you could easily fit 2 of them in here, right? So
easily 2.
Yeah, right.
Plus, and have extra space left over for materials you need to build the base. Like you can drop a base down, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because right now this assault variant is like $300 cheaper than a Pioneer. Yeah. So it's an end game. It's going to be even cheaper. Yeah. So it's like, in terms of comparison. So it's not a dedicated like base builder. Yeah. But it's because of its generalist mentality. It is a base builder. Yeah. It is a base and like maybe even like a ship builder.
Yeah. Even if those fabrications only do like the fabric. Well, I say fabrication. So,
components.
Even if it doesn't. Even if you ruled that out completely, right? It still will be able to take the MCVs, and that's a boon on its own, right? So just see how that goes.
And it can repair any vehicles that you have while doing that. So if your MCV takes damage or it's wear and tear, you just roll that baby right back inside and get it fixed up from your assault, which you can't do on a Pioneer.
And that's what I was about to lead into. Is we talked about on the Inforunners about a medium repair vehicle between the Vulcan and the Crucible, and that would. And I speculated that it would most likely be like a garage This is that garage. It just happened to be bigger than the Crucible.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it works for that too. So you can, land it on the ground. You could. Why does it have to be just those 4 tanks? Why can't you have a Hercules that also has a bunch of tanks and they come in here, right? So you take this, and all of a sudden this becomes your ground vehicle repair base, along with all your other vehicle transports, right?
Yeah. And you start pairing this up. Let's say you pair this up with a regular Ironclad. Now you've got an Ironclad which could possibly land like small fighters inside of it, and or carry more material, so that when you land your Ironclad next to your Assault, and your Assault rolls out all of the base building materials, you still have more stuff inside there, plus maybe even smaller support vehicles, and you have tractor beams. You can move stuff over from one to another, so you can like carry your full of like components and material for your base building. You take it over and you lean it over to the MCVs so they can get more material. This is a multiplier. Like you use this with any ship combination, it becomes an amazing kind of like little boost.
Even just dropping the MCVs off, this thing can go back and get more materials.
Yeah,
while they're working, so it scales really well. As you said, they're both generalists. I do think this one leads itself more to the warfare, repair, manufacturing type of side, and the other one is a lot more into the piracy domain. I think this is the most military kind of Drake thing we've got in a while.
Shit. I would say this is the ground version. This is designed mostly focused on ground support, ground assault. It's designed around planetary usage. Whereas the regular Ironclad is much more space, because it's got that top opening and that kind of stuff. So
the other thing I do want to point out that I'm just saying for myself, and I don't know if this sinks into you too, but salvage, hacking, and now repair for Drake, which is interesting.
Not really. We knew that the Kraken had repair facilities. So, but this is the first time we've seen a dedicated repair from Drake, like as a selling point,
So I think it is a little bit like the Liberator, just based on what we're looking at the components too. It's not capital. It looks like it's large. The
size 3s.
The thing that really pisses me off though is it doesn't have that skin for sale. I really like that skin a lot, because anyone that knows, black's my favorite color with a little bit of red, and that's just me to a T right there. I would buy that just on the skin alone. But yeah, I think let's talk about buying for a minute, because we've got these up as well. The options here, if you are worried about worrying if it's for you, $15 you can secure both these, right? So you've got a $10 upgrade from the Prowler to the Ironclad, and then you've got a M2 to an Assault for $5, right? Now both those ships are out and in game, so they're very unlikely to increase in price at the moment, and so that's a really safe way to do it. If you want to be a bit more, you can jump to other ones if you feel, but that's how cheap you can get them for. And at the moment, you don't even have to hold on to them, because they'll be in buyback, right? And knowing when it's about, you can generally tell when they're about to come out. You can buy them back if you want them. So what I'm going to be doing today, and I'm sure Paul, I don't know if Paul's buying one, but if you're not buying one, and there was people we were talking to in the Discord, that's what their plan is. They're going to wait till the QA comes out. They're just going to pick up a couple of CCUs, because then it just secures them. They don't even have to worry about the FOMO. The FOMO disappears for $15 credit. And
$15 that you can then melt later. You can buy it
within 24 hours.
And then
within 24 hours, you're back to even. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just have credit left over, and you can use that credit for skins if you want to get anything crazy.
Yeah.
So it's especially if you have credit left over, or if you have some extra stuff left over, and you're kind of on the fence about it. It's a really good way of securing that, not having to worry about the FOMO, like buy now sort of situation. So yeah. And the skin though, the skin is nice.
So this is the last thing I want to talk about. Again, the same thing with credits is, buy these and just melt them into buyback. I buy at least 5 of every rare skin now, because there's always a friend that wants one, or something like that. And not only that, you'll get, if you really want to make money out of it too, you can do it that way. Like one of the skins I talk about that taught me this was the Perseus skin. There are people going absolutely mad trying to get their hands on that thing, and I've seen it going for $100. It costs $20, right? And you just melt it into buyback. again, costs you nothing, but it's there, and someone comes to you, 2 years down the track when it comes out, and they go, "Oh, I wish I could buy that skin." You go, "Well, I happen to have one of those," and you're off to the races, So again, it costs you nothing. Like I brought like 5 of these, and I'm in 24 hours time, I'll have my credit back. It's just that simple. I do not understand why they do it this way, because all they're doing is put a burning on their system, because you can exploit the system in your favor, and they have to remember all those things. So it's taking up their storage, but that's their choice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else do you think we can add, or I think we've kind of covered it all? I think have we missed anything?
I'm going to repeat what I said, rewind and repeat what I was saying at the very beginning. It is not a ship that is good at everything. It is a ship that is okay at a lot of stuff. And it is never going to be a ship that is the primary ship that you want to use. But if you are a Caterpillar owner who likes moving cargo, this is the size of this is almost the exact same size as a Hammerhead. So it is not very big in comparison to what you already are used to.
It's about 1,000 SCU over the cargo limit on the Caterpillar. So if you are a Caterpillar owner for essentially, what is it, 400 and I don't know, it's 450? 400. Oh,
it's 400 for the
I was looking at for the 450 the upgrade. So you're essentially looking at sorry, excuse me. No, sorry, you're looking at sorry, I'm having a.
It's okay. Take your time.
$120, right? So you're looking at, you're $120 to upgrade and essentially triple the size of the Caterpillar. And if anyone thinks that they didn't start out, when they kit bash, they essentially just doubled the size of the Caterpillar, and that was the first thing they ever did. You can see it to a T. It is just like someone's gone duplicate, and then because you line them up next to each other, and it's like identical. Yeah.
I am in planning stages of doing a complete history of Drake Interplanetary as kind of a video for the Astro Historian. And one of the things that I'm contemplating, I'm kind of like been writing out, is kind of me glowing about the manufacturer, because it's the only manufacturer that CIG has nailed. Because the thing about Drake is that every ship that Drake makes is a Cutlass. It's just a different version of the Cutlass. Yeah. So even in their own sort of lore and backstory and the kind of style they were going for, they were going to reuse a ton of assets, because that's just what Drake does, because they're cheap. And so what does CIG do? They reuse assets because it's easier for them to do it. And like you said, it's just a Cutlass. It's the Fatapillar is what it is. It's just a Caterpillar, but big. Yeah. And that makes sense in the gameplay and the lore, and the price is like exactly what you'd expect it to be, much cheaper than it would be otherwise, which just confuses me, because I was expecting them to go way up in price, but no, they kept it pretty low for what you're getting. So it's like, it's perfect.
I think like if I was to summarize the two versions, you've obviously got the Assault, which is the heavily based on the ground warfare. It's got repairability. It's got some added extras like we've mentioned with the base building stuff. This thing is an armored cargo variant, the normal Ironclad. It's got lots of engines, so it's not going to be easy to take out. It's got the brig and the actual safe room type stuff going on, and again, it's for the smash and grab. Like it is taking some of the benefits of the Caterpillar, but actually justifying its existence with armor and stuff like that, because the Caterpillar is not armored, right? No. And I like, again, if this shit's got valuables on it and another pirate ship is trying to take it out, I don't think that's going to be easy to take out as people think, because of it's literally got like what is it, 6 and then 4. It's got like 10 thrusters on the back of it. It's insane.
Yeah, 10 thrusters.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to take every single one of those out to stop this thing, right? Which I think is deliberately by design why it's got so many, so it's hard to stop.
It's not going to maneuver very well, but at the same time, and it's not like it's completely toothless. It still has like a size 5 turret, 2 size 3s, or 3 size 3s.
Well, it's actually got turrets here on the back too for shooting backwards as well. So it's not just all front guns as well. So and sitting between the C2 and the whole C, like you can see its reason to exist. It is like a again, like we always talked about with the Banner Merchantman, where it's all its cargo's internal. It's that too. I just can't get over how many ships this thing treads on. Like, if I had to list them, there has to be at least 6 or 7. Right, what have we mentioned today? Valkyrie, Banner Merchantman, Whole Sea, Liberator, C2, the Caterpillar. Like, it just goes on and on and on. And I think that goes back to everything you said right at the beginning. It is a hyper generalist. It really is, and that is its appeal. I think we can leave it there.
Yeah, I'll say it's not going to be the specialty. All of those ships we just mentioned excel at something that that it doesn't, but if you want something that can do a lot of different things, it's perfect for that. And the last thing I'll say with this before finishing is, in general, it is. Oh, I had it and I lost it. So in general, it's just it's a good generalist. I don't know.
Well, there's all those thrusters, by the way, that we were just talking about. Yeah, so 10 of them. So yeah. So yeah. If Paul remembers, he'll put it in the comments and we'll get it.
In lore and in the kind of stories, they've always talked about, whenever they talk about an armored pirate, like kind of command ship, they always reference the Caterpillar. This is what they were talking about. This is what they wanted the Caterpillar to be, which is an armored command vessel for pirates. That's what this is. They built what the original purpose of the Caterpillar was supposed to be. Kind of like how they took the Buccaneer as the sort of what the Cutlass was supposed to be in terms of its fighting, and then just kind of put it into a small fighter. It's the same idea. This is just their kind of make it make sense sort of ship.
So for me, in the comments below, I'd like to hear what you think of what we've kind of laid out here between the two variants. And I think, I know you want to hear this as well, Paul. Do you think that roof doesn't open on the Assault variant? What would you like to hear? Is there anything specifically you would like to hear, Paul?
If you can think of something we didn't say in terms of usage for either the Ironclad or the Ironclad Assault, let us know. Because this is just us kind of spitballing for about an hour or so. So if you've been screaming at your screen, being like, "You forgot about this, please let us know." Because it's always good to hear about that. So
again, being generalist too, I'm sure there's other things that we haven't thought of. So definitely share that around, because it just helps other people see what they could use it for. So all right. Where can people find you on the interwebs, Paul?
Twitch.tv/theastropub, youtube.com/theastropub live. If you want to watch content like this, you actually see X on the Captain's Table a little bit later, and then maybe this will, I don't know when this is going to come out, but
this will be tomorrow for them, so we would have already done it. They're disappointed now. So, that's fine.
So they don't have to watch it live. It'll be the VOD will be up, so they can watch the Captain's Table on all ships of Invictus. So you can go from this straight to that one, and
that's exactly what I needed with all this lack of sleep. Thanks, Paul. Right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and thank you to everyone that went that extra mile at the end of the credits on Patreon. I appreciate it. All right, with that then, he's been Astropub.
He's been Execute.
I'm still teaching him, guys. He's just slow. That's all right. We'll get there eventually. Right. All right. See you, citizens.